you act surprised and I've just been here. Okay, it is amazing to share the rest of the afternoon with you. We have a very packed and ambitious agenda, so we will need your attention as much as we can, and I would love to have your attention for the rest of the afternoon. It's going to be a very cool one, and we're going to see all of the outputs that these 3 days have brought in all of us. So I have great news now to share with you. We have reached the most important moment in a Congress. We will look into the key output of our hard work, and it's a roadmap for the future that all of us have been contributing with our discussions and ideas during plenary sessions and breakout workshops. I think there's no better person to introduce us to this topic than Hani Abdolumen, Global Director of Scouting Development and Coordination Co-Lead for the 4th World Scout Education Congress. Hani, the stage is yours.
This working? Yes. Thank you, Flor. Yes, I think Flor is very right. You are a wonderful audience and participants of the Congress. And as you can see on the screen, it is the roadmap day. So I would like to start by asking if you are having really soaking up the awesome vibes at our fantastic 4th World Scout Education Congress. And I bet you have had some cracking discussions, swapped experiences, and felt inspired, motivated, and totally uplifted. Oh, let's not forget those aha moments that you have the brilliant ideas and you thought, I'm going to take this back home. That's the sweet magic of our Congress, a melting pot where educators from every corner of the world gather to brainstorm, share ideas, and shape tomorrow's education in Scouting. As we zone towards the finale, and by the way, this is my last event in my global role as I'm moving to Cairo as the regional director for the Arab region. Thanks, Diana. Allow me to encapsulate our collective efforts using the art of poetry and counting down from 5 to 1, summing up and summarize this adventure. In Congress halls, ideas thrive alive. Themes 5, a discourses dive. 4 symbols guide, our compass found. 3 stages past, knowledge unbound. 2 pillars held, our wisdom strove. Rios declare, scouting strove. Our roadmap, 1, united song, a Congress vision, together strong. So it's actually easy, huh? 5 themes, 4 characters, 3 journey steps, 2 considerations about Rio Declaration and the new strategy, and 1 road map. Now, we are actually at an important and historical moment. This pivotal moment where we are sculpturing the very future of education in Scouting. Our aim, right from the start, has been to harness the collective wisdom of minds, both present here and also from those online, to bring profound ideas that will shape the course ahead. As you see here, we are reimagining Scouting education. We discussed what we should continue to do, what we should stop doing, and what we should start doing. And now it is time for culmination of our discussions. The presentation of the roadmap for the future of education in Scouting. Born from these vibrant conversations, a roadmap that guides our educational methods at all levels to align and function accordingly. Flor, let's call upon the dedicated team behind the scenes, tirelessly shaping and analyzing these ideas to pass on this significant roadmap from back of the stage to here. Let's embark on the journey of presenting and ensuring these ideas come to life
I am very happy to do so, and we're going to welcome it. But first, I wanted to see if you are excited to see the outcome of our great work. Who's excited? I think we can do a big, and I saw hands here, so maybe I can see hands here and there. Who's excited to see the future of our work? Amazing. As, and as Henny already introduced, I know there is somebody ready to show it. And can I ask my production colleagues to help me with a proper plenary setting as they're getting to the stage? Hello Ben, hello Alistair, hello Christina. Christina and Alistair, you've probably met them, and they're awesome youth representatives, and I am sure I don't have to introduce Ben. He's been our talented graphic reporter throughout the Congress. And I see you have something very important to share with us.
Yes, we do, Floor. Thank you. Alistair and I already had a glimpse into the Ready roadmap, as you can see. It is future-proofing education and scouting, and it has 10 transformative directions. Right, Alistair?
Absolutely. We're very honored to present it to the Congress. Let's start, Christina.
We will develop education and scouting, not surprisingly, towards offering inclusive experiences to every young person.
Towards quality, value-driven citizenship education.
Towards progressing youth leadership.
Towards new modes of volunteering.
Towards mainstreaming individual and collective mental health.
Towards transformative behavioral change for sustainability.
And towards external recognition for the skills and competencies.
Towards strong collaborations for lifelong learning.
Towards human-centered approach to adopting technology.
Towards embracing change and innovation.
10 ideas, ambitions, calls to actions, and most importantly, food for thought when we get back home. That's the true power of having so many experienced Scout educators gathered in one place, isn't it, Floor?
Absolutely, and I think it's a collective work from all of us. So if I can hear, I really love when you clap. So if we can hear one more time for all of us. If I could clap, I would. I'm just with the iPad. I think now I'm curious to see how will we use this roadmap. It's beautiful, and I think we're ready to use it. And I have the perfect person to explain this. Chrissy Polity, a World Scout Committee member that will come here and join us as well on the stage.
This is a beautiful map. Do you take commissions or tasks? I have some walls at home. Well, Floor, you asked what is going to happen with this roadmap. We now have 10 directions of travel. Fresh off the press, I mean, the Congress is still ongoing, so you'll appreciate that in the next 30 minutes we might have more ideas, so we'll add more. But for now, it's the 10 ideas, the 10 themes that reflect what we've done at the Congress. But a good roadmap needs more than themes and headlines. It needs to go from sketch to painting. So as a next step, the reporting team that captured these statements will expand on the themes, describe the bold ideas under the headlines that we discussed in plenaries and in breakouts, and make sure that as soon as it's ready, and that might take a few days, you will receive a consolidated and more detailed version of the document that is going to describe how we want to develop education in Scouting. Now that's the technical announcement for it. But how will we use the roadmap to help us future-proof Scouting? Okay, to future-proof Scouting and in NSOs and on a global level. Well, friends, it's very simple. This roadmap is a bet. And it's a bet that Scouting's best days still lie ahead. That is, if we trust the needs of young people to guide us into that future. So some of you might look at the statements and think, well, you know, we already do a lot of this. We have ideas beyond that. We want to take it in a different direction, with a different focus. And only some of these statements speak to your reality and your truth. For others, you might find that all of this describes the vision that you see for education in Scouting in the future. Both is good. As with most of things in life, you take what you need and you leave the rest. And please take this as a direction on how to work with this roadmap. The responsibility is now on our collective shoulders to deeply think about what we need to change in our NSOs, in the regions, and the world to ensure that we can remain a relevant actor in the lives of young people. This roadmap, for that purpose, can serve as an inspiration. I just said we need to consider what's going to happen in change in our educational proposals at a national level, and the same thing will need to happen on a global level. Now, the timing for this Congress and for this roadmap is no accident. At the World Scout Conference in Egypt next August, WASM will decide on a comprehensive strategy that will lead us in the next decade. The draft strategy now consists of 3 parts. The first one is 3 impact statements that describe the world we want to see and the world we want to contribute to over the next decade. The second part is 4 strategic priorities for the Scout movement to strengthen the delivery of our educational program to achieve our impact. And the third part is 3 strategic priorities for Scout organizations to strengthen our NSOs, regional and world structures all over the next 10 years. And this roadmap, the one we just saw, is going to feed into all 3 of those elements to ensure that relevant education remains at the core of what Scouting does. Now, you might think that it's a daunting task to break down these ideas and translate them into our realities. Sometimes, you know, you read the big words, and that's the immediate feeling you have. Sometimes people get excited. I hope most of you get that latter one. But you know what? I'm not worried about the daunting task. Scouting's been around for 116 years. That's a long time. And ever since our inception, it's been the diversity of NSOs that take a different take to educational proposals united by a common ground. And during this time, for 116 years, we have reimagined, tweaked, explored, questioned, and developed our educational proposal probably more times than Baden-Powell went camping, and he went camping an awful lot. Right? So we've always been good at changing before we have to. Let's draw on this legacy and do it once again. So in summary, Flor, what's going to happen with the roadmap? The roadmap is a call to action, a call to reflection, and an acknowledgement that to call ourselves a movement, we have to continue to keep moving. Thank you.
Thank you, Chrissy. Listening to you, Chrissy, makes me think in what an important moment we're all in the Scout movement. It gives me like goosebumps to think about it, right? Like we're in a really historical moment for the world organization of the Scout movement. We're reaching the end of the current strategy for Scouting, the Vision 2023 that you're familiar with, and finalizing works around the new strategy. There can't be a better moment to reflect also on the future of education in Scouting. To continue this discussion, I am not alone. You will hear from some other people. We will dive into our roadmap further, and we will welcome our program co-leads, Carla Simoes and Emma Watson, to commence our final panel session on our roadmap for the future of education and Scouting. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Thank you.
Much, Flor, and welcome to this session on Roadmap for the Future, Reimagining Scouting's Educational Offer. We have a distinguished panel of experts here today, each bringing a unique perspective on the evolving landscape of education in Scouting. So, for our final session of panel guest introductions, please welcome, with a round of applause, Hector Carrer, also known as Pato. He's a pedagogue and educational consultant, and he was one of very important contributors to our GPS resource. João Armando Gonçalves, adjunct professor, Polytechnic University of Coimbra, WASM consultant, former World Scout Committee chair, and member responsible for educational methods. Isabelle Dufresne-Millionnaire, Director of Scouting Development, Association des Scouts du Canada. Kristina Jelinkova, Global Youth Representative.
Megan Pearson, you mean, I think.
Megan Pearson, so.
Vice Chair of our Inter-America Scout Committee.
And Dev Raj Gimiray, National Scouting and Guiding Organization of Nepal and WASM consultant.
Thank you and welcome, panelists. Throughout our Congress journey, we have been working on establishing the roadmap for the future of education in Scouting. We have been presented with emerging trends and megatrends. We have discussed and debated established norms. We have considered what practices might be out of date or dying, and we have been inspired to contemplate boundary ideas, fresh thoughts and sparks that, if nurtured, will evolve into inspiring ideas and actions.
So this is exploration has implications for program renewal, our volunteers' commitment, the life cycle of adults, and ultimately the future of Scouting. Our panel will discuss some of the key themes that have been identified previously through our discussions and collaborations through this Congress.
So Megan, I'm going to start with you, and thank you very much for joining us. Can you share some insights on what values-driven citizenship could look like in Scouting, and how we might need to make our educational offer more relevant and innovative?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So we are more connected now than we ever have been. And our young people are more aware of global issues as in this interconnected world, especially through the pandemic. And they want to be global, active citizens, as we've discussed. And they want to tackle the challenges and not just learn about them, but actually participate. And as we've discussed in formal education, it's a lot of learning. They're receiving the information and it's more teacher to student versus we have the opportunity in Scouting through non-formal education to have a more adaptable program. We discussed how long it takes to update formal education models versus we can challenge ourselves to adapt more quickly. We can encourage action instead of just synthesizing information. Okay, what are we going to do with it? And then we have a model for youth-led programs. So there is a lot that we can do as we've talked this week and this weekend. You asked relevant and innovative. So when we're looking at the values that we want to drive, we have that number 17, like we heard this morning. We have the Sustainable Development Goals, and as it was said this morning, we have agreed upon them, and the young people want to be those global citizens and actors for change, and it's right there. They can work through those. So, and then and the innovative piece, transitioning those global big 17 to the local action, and how can they do that? That's where the fun challenge comes in, of being innovative and tackling today's problems.
Well, thank you.
Dev, Raj, coming from Nepal, and we know that you have recently renewed your youth program using GPS. So what can you share, any interesting insights you have gained from this Congress in terms of connecting for collaboration in education?
Thank you, Carla. Well, GPS, the Guide to Youth Program, is the one of the magic tool to produce the youth program or to revisit the youth program in our NSOs. We are lucky and fortunate to use through the GPS we produce the youth program, which from this GPS it gives the understanding of the what, why, and how the youth program is implemented. So it's all about the life cycle of the youth program, life cycle of the youth program based on the youth program policy and the youth involvement policy, and also the connected with the adolescent scouting policy. So these 8 steps of the GPS is amazing, and while we are going through it, we have gone through the, based on the youth program policy, we localize the content and we produce the youth program policy in Nepal Scouts. And also, while we are producing the youth program, as we are the SAGNOS country, we integrated the program and activities which is produced by the WACS and also the WOSM initiatives like the Scout for SDGs. So in this context, what we did is we should not let it go with the, we should not forget the youth train, youth needs, and youth aspirations. So we have gone throughout the country to find the interest of the young people, what they want in their education in the scouting. So from the perspective of this Congress, what I assume that let us continue the collaborating, let us continue the imparting the program and activities which is really interesting, and let us share our ideas, the best practices. And of course, we think that, in my perspective, youth programs should not deal with the, should not derail with the core value of the scouting. And of course, we are very enthusiastic to adopt the Scout for SDGs new program in the this youth program. So I want to share that the collaboration for the common goals is most important. Through this Congress, we got the opportunities to have the collaboration among us. And let us share the best practices.
Thank you, Dev.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing this context in how it's important to renew the program, and also with all of you have learned and experienced here.
So Pato, and as one of our creators of the GPS and an esteemed educator amongst us, perhaps we can turn to you next. As a pedagogical expert and educational consultant, what are some practices you would like to see Scouting stop or move on from? And how might this act towards future-proofing education?
No se asusten, estoy hablando en español. Lo siguiente que debo decir es, qué buena pregunta. Ayer el ombudsman de las infancias y juventudes del gobierno de Francia nos recordaba que las niñas, las infancias y adolescencias son sujetos de derecho, y que eso implica una responsabilidad de los adultos respecto de de los niños, las niñas y los adolescentes. ¿Por qué empiezo diciendo esto? Porque una cosa que me gustaría que el movimiento Scout dejara de hacer es considerar a los niños y a las niñas y a los adolescentes como sujetos pasivos, que no tienen voz, que no tienen responsabilidades, que no pueden asumir y no pueden pensar la realidad y poder modificarla. Porque ahí está la razón de que intentamos tantas veces mediante estrategias, políticas, foros, cursos, el hecho de la participación juvenil, cuando la participación juvenil está en el origen mismo del movimiento Scout. ¿Qué nos pasó? Que 100 años después tuvimos que volver a pensar algo que está en el ideario de Baden-Powell, en las ideas originales del fundador. Y yo creo que tiene que ver con el adultocentrismo, con esa idea de que ustedes saben que el origen etimológico de la palabra infancia quiere decir sin voz. Y no es solamente que no pueda hablar, sino que lo que dice un niño, una niña, un adolescente no es válido, no es racional. Entonces, claro, como no piensan, como no puede hablar, como no puede hacerse responsable, necesitamos ser tutores de ellos. En realidad no. Los adultos, los educadores, las educadoras, los animadores en el movimiento Scout, necesitamos ser garantes y promotores de los derechos de los niñas, adolescentes y jóvenes. Porque garantizando y promoviendo esos derechos, seguramente vamos a aplicar bien el método Scout, que se basa en el protagonismo de las adolescentes y de los jóvenes como protagonistas fundamentales, como personas fundamentales del sistema. O sea que lo primero que me gustaría que dejáramos de hacer es ubicarnos en el centro de la escena, ser adultocéntricos y no considerar a los jóvenes y a las niñas y a los niños como sujetos de derecho. Lo segundo es que las formas de aplicar del programa sean tan escolarizadas. Y nos hemos escolarizado como la educación tradicional, porque la educación formal también ha avanzado y tiene formas muy revolucionarias de ser llevadas a cabo. No quiere decir que porque es formal es tradicional. Pero hemos caído muchas veces en la cuestión formal, ¿no? Tan preocupado por las pruebas, por las insignias, por ese tipo de cosas, cuando en realidad nosotros somos un movimiento que acompaña el crecimiento, la autonomía de niños, niñas, adolescentes y jóvenes en un momento de su vida. Y eso es mucho, es demasiado. Pero cuando lo formalizamos, cuando nos encerramos en nuestros grupos, en las sedes, cuando dejamos de salir al mundo, a la naturaleza, entonces perdemos un montón de condiciones. Y esto no lo alerto yo, lo alertó Baden-Powell en The Scouter, en las revistas originales, ¿no? Mucho drill, mucha práctica en un salón, poca naturaleza, poca comunidad. Y salir a la naturaleza y salir a la comunidad son las condiciones de conocer la naturaleza y conocer la comunidad, que es el primer paso para quererla, para protegerla, para transformarla. Entonces a mí me gustaría que por lo menos en principio esas dos cosas se repensaran en el movimiento Scout. ¿Cuán formales estamos? ¿Cuánta estructura, cuánta rigidez en nuestras formas que atrapan el movimiento? Precisamos más movimiento y no menos organización, sino una organización que acompañe al movimiento. No sé si te contesté.
Gracias, Pato. Gracias. Thank you for recenter us on the very implementation of the Scout methods. Of all of our, they have been present here, there, but sometimes we need to just remind ourselves how important it is to continue to do to implement the Scout method correctly. So, Isabel, you have had the privilege of reviewing many of the academic papers that has been written about Scouting, especially those that are related with education. We have heard throughout the Congress that data drives strategy and provides insights, how important it is. Reflecting on the academia, can you share any insights on how we, and in our NSOs, and as a movement, be responsive, adaptive, and even proactive in our programs, so we can address the challenge and the trends that young people are facing.
Merci beaucoup, Carla. I'll be speaking in English for the rest. While thanking Pato for practicing my Spanish in this panel. So thank you for that question. And yes, it's been such a pleasure to go through great literature and data in the context of the WISM unit on positioning scouting education, to be able to kind of dive deep into what a lot of educational experts are saying on what we're doing well, but also what we might be able to improve. And I think that in the question that you mentioned in particular, one of the things that I found most fun was, the concept of being responsive for me means that, like we're doing today, we're looking at trends, and then we're ready to go and challenge the status quo. For being adaptive, for me, that means that we are also taking into account in our National Scout organizations how we automatically integrate into our programs a dynamic component that can change. I think that's super important in our youth program in particular, to be able to bring that capacity to change. And the most important for me is the one on being proactive, and that's where a lot of the data and research for me comes in. Because I think that by conducting research, by pushing for that information, by being open to what others are saying on what we're doing well, but also being very humble about the things that we're not doing well, I, in my role in my NSO, can learn how to improve and can learn what to change. And so to be proactive in that aspect, well, all the work that's being done on the impact assessments by WISM give a lot of information. But there's also been so much data done by researchers, and I've had the privilege to meet some of these specialists here at the event with us today, people doing their master's degrees, their PhDs, different types of studies on collecting data for scouting, collecting information. So, I mean, what I'm really hoping is that we can use that content, be proactive, go get that information, not just look at the trends and then respond, but go be the first people who go collect that data on youth and then can drive the conversation on non-formal education, drive the changes in our NSOs. And that's what I want to be able to implement, bring that back to my National Scout organization, driving for research on youth trends and what youth need today to be able to answer to those programs.
And I remember everyone that we have papers uploaded on our website that was submitted to this Congress.
Definitely.
So Zhao, I'm going to turn to you now, and you've been a part of education in Scouting Journey in many roles, and I'm sure have seen many evolutions and changes. So reflecting on our discussions, and especially what we have heard from our keynote speakers in Andreas and Christopher, can Scouting cover the full development of a young person? What would it look like if Scouting became a learning hub?
Thank you for the question. Hello to my fellow panelists. I think we have been covering the full development since the beginning of times, I would say, in a more structured or unstructured way, but we have been doing this. I would say that in the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years, with all this macro and RAP and GPS now, we have given it a bit more structure, but we have this concern about covering all the different areas of development of the person. So I think we have this in our agenda for a long time. The thing is that probably, I think we have been providing a learning environment with a lot of diverse learning experiences, learning opportunities for young people to come and test and do things and therefore develop in different areas. The point here is that maybe we could do, or maybe the young people could benefit. No?
The micro.
Sorry.
Plan B.
Por eso viniste. Yes. Maybe the young people could benefit more if some of those learning experiences are taken also outside of scouting as well. I know sometimes we think that we are the best in the world and therefore everything that we do is the best. But the fact is that there are a lot of other organizations and associations and family and school and sports and whatever, a number of other environments, learning environments that can be really beneficial for the young people. And what our major interest is that each of those persons can develop well. If that can be done through us only or in collaboration with others, it's probably not very important. The important is that they can develop. And collaboration with other agents of education is very important. As you know, in Africa, there is this saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And we truly believe that, and I think the roadmap expresses that. So, yes, I think we should continue to cover all the areas, but also seeking more collaboration since from the local level at the global level. Not only formal partnerships, but also this type of open collaboration. As for the second part of your question about scouting becoming a learning hub, I do like the idea of the learning hub very much. It's not the first time I heard it, and I do think that we are going there. But when it comes for scouting, I think we can be a learning hub, especially for those who are not full member, that can come here and experience some of the activity that we have. From my point of view, our educational offer requires two important things. One, actually, any educational offer. One is time. Some of the experience needs time to consolidate. And therefore, this is related to the fact that we need to have some membership. It's not coming here for a weekend, experience an activity, and go home. That is probably not very effective. That requires some time to consolidate an amount of experiences. And the second one is relationships. And for us, it's quite important that the young person has a steady relationship with an adult in the sense that they know. Nowadays, everybody says that much of what young people learn is because of the relationships they have with the teachers, the educator. Therefore, to nurture that relationship requires time as well. That is why I think that for scouting, for what we call scouts today, because we can change, what we call scouts today, maybe we need to have, the learning hub needs to work differently from my point of view.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and some interesting thoughts and perspectives for us to reflect on as a collective.
So creativity, nature, and working on projects are our core business. Going back to you, Pato, what is differentiating us from formal education, which is progressively adopting our methodologies? How can our non-formal education be recognized?
Bueno, básicamente los sistemas de educación formal de la mayoría de los países fueron pensados en función del sistema político, cultural y económico de un país, o sea, dando respuestas a esas cosas y fundamentalmente sobre las habilidades de lectoescritura, cálculo, historia. Y tiene como función, como reaseguro, una acreditación, o sea, los estados de los países certifican que esta persona ha hecho su nivel básico de educación, su nivel medio y la universidad. Esa certificación viene a partir de ciertos exámenes y ciertas pruebas que se dan para probar, para mostrar que se tienen las competencias en el nivel primario de la educación, de la lectoescritura, el cálculo y algunas cosas básicas. Estoy hablando de la educación tradicional, digamos. El movimiento Scout no tiene que preocuparse por esas cosas, básicamente porque educa en valores y hasta donde yo sé, no hay ningún diploma que diga que uno es buena persona. Y no hay ninguna institución que lo dé, porque no hay exámenes para eso. Sí hay contenidos para eso, sí hay valores, experiencias, vínculos que se construyen en la construcción, en la formación de una persona como ciudadano, como ciudadana, en relación con los otros. El movimiento Scout no tiene que preocuparse por certificar nada. Por lo tanto, esa mala tradición que tenemos de tomar pruebas, de tomar examen, como si una prueba en una situación de laboratorio pudiera demostrar que una persona es competente. ¿Dónde se adquieren las competencias de creatividad, por ejemplo, o las competencias en general? En distintos escenarios. Escenarios que nos ponen a prueba, que nos dan desafíos de resolver situaciones. Por ejemplo, un equipo, una patrulla, teniendo que armar su carpa, cocinar al mismo momento, porque tiene un tiempo determinado, ponerse de acuerdo, resolver conflictos, resolver imprevistos que pueden acontecer. Y eso es un escenario de aprendizaje muy rico, que ni siquiera necesita de un adulto ahí en el medio de los jóvenes presentes. El adulto está presente porque armó el escenario, como si fuera un escenógrafo de una obra de teatro. Arma el escenario y los actores, los jóvenes, desempeñan su parte de la obra y de eso obtienen aprendizajes. Y esos aprendizajes se verifican en competencias. Entonces, esas competencias más de alto estatus, como la creatividad, como el trabajo en equipo, como la resolución de problemas, a las que hacía alusión esta mañana el colega de la UNESCO, son las que el movimiento Scout atiende principalmente. Y ese tipo de competencias no se logra en un salón o en una prueba determinada. Se logra en escenarios que son básicamente en el movimiento Scout dos grandes escenarios. La naturaleza, con toda la riqueza que la naturaleza nos brinda, el medio ambiente, y la comunidad. Y cuando digo la comunidad, digo las personas, las instituciones, los conflictos, los desafíos que una comunidad nos da. Entonces, en el movimiento Scout, la forma de adquirir ese tipo de competencias es cuando pensamos que nuestra sala de clase, nuestra aula, es el mundo. Y el mundo con toda la riqueza y todos los desafíos que eso que ofrece. El pedagogo italiano Francesco Tonucci dice que las cosas más importantes se aprenden afuera y con otros. Afuera de la escuela, afuera de la casa, ¿sí? Y con otros, con los amigos, en la calle. Por eso que Tonucci dice que nuestras ciudades tienen que volverse espacios educadores que también contienen a los niños y a los adolescentes, cuando en realidad son espacios peligrosos. Dejamos de habitar el espacio público y el espacio público es el que nos brinda el escenario para adquirir ciudadanía. Entonces, cada vez que nos recluimos dentro de sala de clases, de aula, de nuestros grupos scouts, y armamos laboratorio, ¿no? Como si fuera una lámina con un árbol, ¿sí? La educación tradicional no habla de enseñamos botánica mostrando una lámina o proyectando un árbol. Cuando podemos ir a tocar el árbol, a sentir, a percibirlo, a percibir los olores, los colores, también a arriesgarnos, ¿no? A poder lastimarnos, porque es parte de la resiliencia de todo eso. ¿Qué quiero explicar con esto? Que esas cosas tan complejas como la adquisición de competencias demanda de adultos, de educadores, de animadores, que brinden escenarios distintos y ricos en donde pasan cosas interesantes. No sé si te contesté porque después me enredo.
Thank you so much, Pato. I think that was important to see how you are passionate about talking about competence in Scouting and the value that the Scout movement has in terms of the development of young people. And back to you, Emma.
Thank you. And so, Megan, I'm going to turn to you, and building on from Pato's reflection on educational competencies, and even starting to touch a little bit on our bite-sized pieces, our micro-credentials, perhaps you might say. The digital world provides a range of possibilities and options. So how do we balance our digital connectivity with disconnection, creativity, and nature?
Thank you. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Emma. I am back to breathing. It was one of those when you try to not cough, you make it worse. So it was an incredible opportunity this Congress to get to talk to a lot of educators regarding the digital transformation. And there is so much opportunity that we have and challenges that we have to face as we bring that more into our program. So a couple of I'm going to respond to you the way you asked with disconnection, creativity, and nature. So one thing we talked about this morning in one of our breakout sessions was it feels less connected when we see someone sitting there on their phone, but they're connected with people from all over the world. So it's a different kind of connection. It's a reframe on how we think of connectivity. And I brought the challenge of how does that then translate to the workplace? If someone is sitting there, a young person, gaming with friends all over the world. Well, we just went through that pandemic, and we were all working with people all over the world, making connections, making friends and colleagues when we had never met them in person. It's been incredible this week. I've met some people for the first time, and one comment I said to someone, "Oh, you're taller than I thought you were," because I'd only ever seen their face. So we're preparing our young people by leaning into programs like Megaverse and others, and Joda to actually be prepared for the workforce, which is one of our goals. And then in creativity, the world of AI and artificial intelligence is challenging us to reframe how we actually engage with information. We are no longer expected to have the answer, but actually how to ask the question, which that builds into creativity immediately. Learning how to actually ask the question so we can get the information from these computers, from these chat GPT boxes, and then learning how to verify the information. No longer are you going to a textbook that some professional decided and went through all the research to make sure it was correct. No, we're now having to teach our young people how to verify the information themselves. And then the third piece you had asked was for nature. I lived in Chicago. It is extremely flat. There are no mountains anywhere. And one thing very interesting about Megaverse is young people can engage with landscapes and with nature that they would never be able to engage within their immediate radius or within their ability to travel. It opens up the world so that young people can learn and engage with places they may have never been or may never have the opportunity to go to because of financial constraints. So I'm really excited about all that we heard this weekend and all that we see coming down the plans for engaging technology within our organization.
Wonderful, thank you.
João, turning to you, Scouting strives to remain ahead of trends. You already hear that from Isabel as well, and continue to be relevant in the present and in the future for young people. So looking at two of the key outcomes that we had in the roadmap, youth leadership and behavioral change for sustainability, how do you ensure young people are not just beneficiaries of education, but they are co-creators or flexible and inclusive programs? And 1 minute. We are starting to get to the end of the panel. No?
10 seconds less. Well, how can we do that? First of all, some people need to get out of the way. I know this is the popular answer. I have another one. But I think the most effective is put people working together. I think I don't know any more effective technique of achieving things, especially in scouting, than to do things. And that means to put people working together. And I mean different generations working together. Actually, I was thinking about this expression, I think I read something, which is the alliance of generations. I think we really need to do an alliance of generations here in scouting. I know this is not very popular. What is popular is youth leadership. And youth leadership, yes, we need to get out of the way and leave people do their own thing in their own time, with their own mistakes. That's their time. But at the same time, I believe that we would all gain by the fact that we could live together doing things. Even because you probably, I could ask, what is youth, what is old people, what is young people and old people? Because now we have different generations working together, 4 generations. We can have, in a workplace, we can now have 4 or 5 generations working side by side. So maybe we should try to train ourselves to listen to people, to work together with them, understand that they come from a different place, and therefore this collaboration, again, crossing the generations, I think it will be a good thing to nurture, I would say. So putting people working together, I would say that's the most important thing that we need to do.
And so I guess following on from that, Joe, and sorry that I cut off the applause there.
You need it?
Dev, I'm just going to ask one short question to you, and hopefully a nice short answer as well. So do we focus on the development and support of adults enough to facilitate the development and well-being of our young people?
Yeah, thank you, Emma. First of all, I just recognize the support of the adults for the development of young people. As a movement, we are the both sides of the coin. So the collaboration between young people and adults fosters the opportunities. Here, while we are talking about the adult leaders, we can say that the leaders who are working for the associations and the leaders who are dedicated to the development of the young people. If you see the adult life cycle, the learning, unlearning, and relearning process is most important part to produce the good and smart citizen for the nation. So sometimes we focus only for the trainings. Not only the trainings, after the trainings, the support, what kind of support we are providing for the adults for the well-being of the young people. This is most important part. So what I want to deliver through this platform that by fostering a culture that the value ongoing adult development, which is creating the historic growth of the well-being of both adults and of course, the young people. So this is how we grow together. So we want to focus one side in the content expertise, and another side is the process expertise. For the governance perspective, the adults should be trained for the process expertise, and for the development of the young people side, the adults should be trained for the content expertise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dev. And so, Isabel, I'm just going to turn to you with our final question. And so we've talked a lot about adults and the development of adults as well, and particularly in what Dev was just saying there. But can you give us a reflection on what flexible volunteering might look like in our NSOs and NSAs moving forwards? And how might we be able to move towards this model?
With pleasure and short and sweet version, I'm assuming.
Yes, please.
So I think I learned a lot during this Congress on different models for flexible volunteering. The main takeaways that I'm bringing back to my National Scout organization that's on my roadmap is let's not think of our volunteers as the same people as they were 10 or 20 years ago. Let's start seeing ourselves and seeing really who is here and asking the very important question, who is not here with us? Who is not part of our volunteer teams? As much from a diversity and inclusion perspective as from a perspective of who can't fit into this model that we have. So in my NSO, and I think in many of your different NSOs, one of the ways that I'll be bringing back on my roadmap the concept of flexible volunteering is, well, first of all, what that's going to imply is it's going to imply change management. So we're going to bring back the concept and being like, hey, I think we're on the right track if we offer new options. Not to repeat myself, but I think we can bring new data to show that information, data on what volunteers look like today. I think that's a good way to convince people. I think new flexible volunteering can come back to one of the points you were saying, Joao, but like, how can we offer spaces as a learning hub in scouting? So same thing for volunteers. How can we allow volunteers to come and test and try? And the two last things, one is, events like this can happen at a national level too. Can we have moments to talk about education and talk about volunteering and the future of that at national level to keep this conversation going? And if I ever need some help as well, I'll be continuing with services with WISM to be able to bring those concepts and external expertise to the table.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we have been talking about flexibility, so I dare you to memorize faces of Megan, Pato, João, Isabel, Devraj, and you can chase them after the panel for the questions because we don't have more time. Okay, so this is scouting, this is a kind of a different game that you will have.
So thank you very much, and the roadmap we've discussed today is our vision and a guide to ensuring that the educational offering of scouting remains relevant and effective in the years to come. It's about shaping a future that reflects our enduring values and mission. We appreciate the insights from our esteemed panelists. So thank you, Megan, Joao, Pato, Isabel, and Devraj.
Thank you so much.
It's just a little bit more than I asked you. We're about to go into a closing ceremony. Finally, we would like to hear, you've talked with someone else, you've talked with a small group, but we would like to hear from you individually. So, what is the number one action or commitment you as an individual will take towards the future of education in scouting? You will enter this, if you scan the QR code, you will go to a tool called Padlet. And once you log in your answer, we will also see a global map here. So if you can scan the QR code before we put the map. Okay. It's so cool how the pins are starting to show up, and we welcome back Pierre. Hello, Pierre.
Hi, everyone.
It's our last time together here.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool how we're seeing the pins. Okay, they will stay in the back from us, and a small practical announcement is that for the closing ceremony, it will start at 5:30 because we have someone coming specifically at that time. So we really thank you for your attention and being here. The closing ceremony, and after that we will be done. But we will start at 5:30 in the closing ceremony because someone is coming specifically for that, and we're waiting for that commitment. In the meanwhile, you will not get bored because we have some questions for you from Pierre.
Yes. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Est-ce que ça va? Okay. If you still have some energy, can you stand up?
We're in a difficult moment. People are tired. They have learned so much. And I think we're ready to ask some questions as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, we have some questions prepared for you, and we would like for you to clap twice if this question relates to you. Okay? And we will try to do the best with the interpretation so we get the claps also. So
You clap the number of times you think you're okay with the proposal. So we will take some takeaways back home. Okay, so few takeaways. Are you sure? You can clap as more as you're gonna have things to get back to your house. So yes, yes. Will you recommend around you the next generations of the leaders of your NSO to come to the next World Scout Educational Congress?
that's a lot of claps. That's a lot of claps.
Yes, that's a lot of claps. And
I have one. This can be one clap or none. Whose first time in Paris is this? Okay, quite a lot.
so we have a lot of people here.
Whose is first Scout Educational Congress? Yeah, quite a lot. Who has been to 2 Scout Education Congress? Wow, to 3 of them? And 4?
All of them?
Wow! Wow. Back to you, Pierre.
Well, if you think we are ready for the closing ceremony, do you think? So, well, I think it's time to start the ceremony. So, welcome to our celebration.
You can sit.
You can please have a seat. And it is with a lot of emotion, Flor,
Yeah.
after these 3 days.
I will miss you. I will
Yeah.
miss everyone. I
Yeah.
will wake up in the morning and say, hello, everyone. Good morning. And
Stretching every morning,
exactly.
thinking to you.
There, that's the whistle. I will keep listening in my ear.
Yeah. So, dear friends, it's such a warm time to have you here, all. And I think some of you want to sing, but
No, please stop.
okay. Wow, bravo. What a nice orchestra. Anyway, it was exactly as you sang. It's an incredible journey together. And Flora, what do you retain from these 3 days?
So we've explored in-depth the in-depth youth challenges, delved into the realm of non-formal education, and charted the course of Scouting's relevance for the future. Today we come together to celebrate and reflect on the highlights of this unforgettable Congress.
Je vais dire un mot en français. I will say it in English later on, no stress. Nous avons l'immense plaisir d'accueillir sur scène dans quelques instants une invitée extrêmement spéciale et particulière. Le scoutisme français est très heureux et très reconnaissant au gouvernement français d'avoir soutenu la réalisation de cet événement à Paris et ici à la Cité universitaire internationale de Paris. Et donc nous avons la chance d'être rejoints par Madame la secrétaire d'État à la jeunesse et au service national universel, rattachée à la Première ministre, Madame Isabelle Borne, la secrétaire d'État, Madame Prisca Thévenot. Madame Prisca Thévenot est secrétaire d'État après avoir été membre du Parlement français en charge des affaires sociales. Et elle a fondé une organisation de la société civile qui s'appelle Civil Impact. Et elle a beaucoup de cordes à son arc. Et je tiens aussi à souligner qu'elle a été conseillère régionale. Et vous allez voir, c'est quelqu'un qui comprend extrêmement bien nos problématiques. I have now the pleasure, the utmost pleasure, I could say, to introduce to the stage in a minute a very special and distinguished guest. Scoutisme Français is extremely proud and grateful to have the support of the French government. And today we are joined by Madame State Secretary for Youth and Universal National Service of France, Mrs. Prisca Thévenot. She's the State Secretary that she has taken this office earlier this year after a career at the Parliament, and where she was in charge of the Social Affairs Commission. She also has co-founded a civil society organization, what's called Civil Impact, and she also has served as a regional advisor for the Île-de-France region, where you are right now. Madame Secretary of State, Madame Prisca Thévenot, we have the pleasure to welcome you on stage. Thank you very much for being with us.
I'm not going to sing, sorry. But actually, I'm going to do it in French, if it's okay for you. Mesdames, Messieurs du scoutisme français et aussi international, je suis honorée de m'exprimer face à vous aujourd'hui pour la première fois depuis ma prise de fonction en tant que secrétaire d'État à la jeunesse, effectivement, au service national universel et à la vie associative. En d'autres mots, ce ministère, j'aime à le qualifier de ministère du lien. Ce lien qui m'est si cher, qui vous est si cher, car il incarne au-delà du vivre ensemble, le faire ensemble. Ce faire ensemble, c'est avant tout créer du commun à toutes les échelles de la société. Ce faire ensemble, c'est se rappeler l'importance de penser et surtout d'agir collectivement. Ces questions de lien et de vivre ensemble auxquelles je suis tant attachée, vous les avez évoquées pendant tout au long de ce congrès, au travers de thématiques du leadership, des jeunesses, de l'éducation au développement durable ou encore du numérique. Ces moments d'échange collectif sont, je crois, au fondement de la réflexion à mener pour l'avenir de notre jeunesse et de notre éducation. Car si les méthodes éducatives sont toujours complexes à trouver et à définir, ce n'est pas parce que la concertation et le débat les empêchent, mais bien parce qu'il s'agit de continuer en permanence à les tracer ensemble. En se réunissant grâce à ce congrès pendant plusieurs heures, plusieurs jours, à effectivement chanter, appréhender un certain nombre de mélodies ensemble, vous avez surtout réappris à vous interroger, à vous questionner, non pas pour vous arrêter, mais pour avancer d'autant mieux collectivement. Alors, bien sûr, quand je parle à avancer collectivement, je parle d'éducation, l'éducation qui est au cœur de nos écoles, où chaque jour, nos enfants apprennent à devenir des adultes et des citoyens engagés dans le monde de demain. Mais je pense aussi à l'éducation non formelle, celle des organisations de jeunesse, des clubs et bien évidemment des associations, à toutes ces façons d'apprendre et d'apprendre autrement. Car oui, l'école est une institution importante, mais notre école, si elle fait beaucoup, elle ne peut pas tout. Transmettre les savoirs fondamentaux pendant plusieurs heures chaque jour est une tâche immense, peut-être la plus importante, mais elle n'est pas unique. C'est pourquoi la continuité éducative reste et demeure une priorité. Avec l'engagement et la cohésion nationale, la continuité éducative est donc au cœur des politiques publiques qui sont au sein de mon secrétariat d'État. Dès l'année prochaine, nous allons ainsi continuer à accroître toutes les politiques publiques qui peuvent se déployer en dehors de l'école et dans la continuité de l'école. Nous mettrons en place un pass colo qui offre une aide au départ en colonie de vacances pour les enfants de 11 ans. Nous pérenniserons également le dispositif colo apprenante avec une possibilité offerte à plus de 80 000 jeunes de partir en colonie de vacances et de faire l'expérience du collectif. Pour votre contribution à ces continuités éducatives et pour votre attachement à ce lien si précieux entre les générations, je tiens à vous féliciter, mouvement de scoutisme de France et d'ailleurs, pour votre investissement et votre dévouement au bien commun. Les relations des organisations de scoutisme et mon secrétariat d'État sont bien évidemment anciennes, mais toujours aussi denses. C'est dans cette perspective que nous soutenons le scoutisme français et ses 6 membres de manière importante. Chaque année, ce sont plus de 500 000 € de soutien que mon ministère attribue à ces organisations pour les aider à toujours faire mieux pour nos jeunes. Et parce que votre engagement pour notre jeunesse est si important, j'ai décidé cet été, dès mon arrivée au secrétariat d'État, d'augmenter les subventions de 3 de ces associations. Si ce soutien est si fort, c'est parce que le scoutisme est un formidable levier d'éducation. Le scoutisme, c'est une expérience unique de prise de responsabilité progressive. C'est un ensemble d'actions concrètes pour la mixité et pour l'inclusion des jeunes. Le scoutisme, c'est aussi un engagement fort pour les autres, mais aussi et surtout pour soi-même. Ce n'est d'ailleurs pas par hasard que le scoutisme représente une filière importante de recrutement pour le BAFA français, puisque beaucoup de scouts décident de poursuivre l'aventure à travers l'animation de colonies de vacances. En bref, le scoutisme est un magnifique condensé de mes objectifs et de mes actions. Ce congrès, j'en suis sûre, contribuera partout dans le monde à renforcer la qualité d'accueil des jeunes dans les mouvements de scoutisme et leur impact dans la vie. C'est pour cela que je tenais à être avec vous aujourd'hui, non pas pour entonner une musique ensemble, mais pour continuer à écrire cette histoire qui est la vôtre et qui incarne des valeurs et l'ADN qui est au centre de mon secrétariat d'État. Bien évidemment, l'ADN de l'engagement pour soi d'abord, mais pour les autres surtout. Merci à vous.
Merci beaucoup Madame la Ministre. Je vous propose de rester un instant avec moi sur scène et j'invite le président du scoutisme français, Franck Chekroun, à nous rejoindre sur scène. I'd like to invite Franck Chekroun to join us on stage. He has a very symbolic gift. Yes, a traditional gift in scouting, un cadeau traditionnel du scoutisme. Merci beaucoup, Madame la Ministre. Merci pour vos mots. Thank you very much, Madame la Ministre. Yes, Frank, you stay with me because now you have the floor. Please, Frank.
I also speak in French. I'm sorry. No. Bonjour à toutes, bonjour à tous. Madame la ministre, Madame la secrétaire d'État, merci pour votre présence, chère Prisca. Monsieur le président de l'OMMS, cher Andy, Monsieur le secrétaire général de l'OMMS, cher Ahmad, chers tous, c'est le moment de vous dire merci pour votre participation à ce formidable événement. Quel plaisir ça a été pour la Fédération du scoutisme français de vous accueillir dans ce lieu formidable qu'est la Cité internationale universitaire de Paris. Quel bonheur de vous voir toutes, de voir toute cette diversité se réunir dans un but unique et commun, l'éducation et la formation de millions de scouts à travers le monde. Quelle joie aussi de se retrouver dans un événement physique, en présentiel, pour profiter ensemble d'un vrai temps de rencontre. Alors, mince. C'était pas numéroté. Alors permettez-moi aussi de vous parler un peu de la famille du scoutisme français. Car oui, le scoutisme français, c'est une grande famille. La fédération est née à l'initiative des scouts de France, des éclaireurs de France, des éclaireurs unionistes de France et des éclaireurs israélites de France pour s'unir et protéger l'un de ses membres. C'était effectivement en 1940. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes 6 membres d'une belle et grande famille. Cette famille a été rejointe par les scouts musulmans en 1994 et les éclaireurs de la nature, tout dernièrement, en 2017. Et cette famille continue de se construire autour des fondamentaux et piliers que porte le scoutisme. Nous aimons dire que nos 6 associations aiment se rassembler sans se ressembler. La richesse de notre diversité et de nos différences permet ainsi d'apprendre les uns des autres et d'œuvrer vers un objectif commun. Unis dans la diversité pour vivre et agir ensemble. Et cette diversité assumée, vécue comme une richesse, permet pleinement d'incarner notre objectif premier, celui de bâtir un monde ensemble, un monde de paix. Un objectif qui a tellement de sens aujourd'hui. Un objectif qui a tellement de sens en ces murs, ceux de la Cité internationale universitaire, dont le projet, créé entre les 2 guerres, s'est bâti sur le vivre ensemble et la compréhension d'un monde riche et complexe. Vos réflexions, nos réflexions sur les méthodes éducatives doivent nous conduire, et là encore, à cultiver les graines semées par le père fondateur, Lord Baden-Powell, lorsqu'il a imaginé le scoutisme. Si nos projets, nos forums et nos réflexions ne conduisent pas à toujours plus de paix, alors nous aurons failli à notre devoir de cultiver l'essence même du scoutisme. Le scoutisme offre à nos jeunes une opportunité de grandir, pour être des bâtisseurs et des artisans de paix. Cela doit rester notre objectif premier. La paix, c'est le vivre ensemble, mais pas seulement. C'est aussi manger à sa faim, respirer, être un citoyen libre et engagé. Mais il y a aussi le respect de l'environnement qui devient un élément fondamental à la construction de la paix. C'est pourquoi la Fédération du scoutisme français a souhaité accueillir le Congrès des méthodes éducatives et un de nos objectifs communs et une des priorités communes aux 6 associations de la Fédération du scoutisme français, était la conviction d'un événement aussi sobre que possible. Je crois que l'expérience vécue pendant ces 3 journées a montré que cela était possible, tout en garantissant un réel niveau de confort et de qualité. Cela nous tenait réellement à cœur, d'autant plus au moment où la COP28 se réunit à Dubaï et que les conditions d'organisation de l'événement soient cohérentes avec nos ambitions de respect de l'environnement au service des générations futures. J'aimerais d'ailleurs saluer également l'action de tous les membres du scoutisme français qui ont contribué dans des rôles, visibles ou invisibles, à la réussite de l'événement, et particulièrement, je ne sais pas si elles sont dans la salle, Colline et Fiona, Merci Colline et Fiona qui ont porté avec énergie et talent cet événement depuis près d'1 an. Alors maintenant, j'espère que vous garderez tous et toutes, alors je ne sais pas s'il faut dire tous et toutes, on a des sujets là-dessus, j'espère que vous garderez tous et toutes un souvenir heureux et riche de ce congrès mondial. Merci d'être venus si nombreux et merci à l'OMMS, au WOSM, pour sa confiance et son soutien pour l'organisation de ce congrès mondial des méthodes éducatives. Je vous souhaite à chacun de revenir avec plein d'idées et d'envie pour contribuer à faire rayonner le projet du scoutisme aux 4 coins du monde. Merci à tous.
You can stay here, you can stay here. Yes. Merci beaucoup, Frank. Don't leave us yet. Okay. You can stay here. Because we also have something for you. Oh. I would like to call to the stage of the Congress Ahmed Al-Hendawi to give you a token of appreciation for hosting this powerful and transformative event in your beautiful country. Ahmad, don't leave as well. This is efficient stage management. Ahmad, I would like to hear from you. Everyone would like to hear your closing remarks for this event.
Thank you. Merci. Bonsoir. That's about it. Friends,
hello.
My brother from the sister from the Federation of Scouting France, our National Scout Organization, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for being a wonderful host. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful mosaic of a France that is coming together in one federation that allowed us all to see how a National Scout Organization can truly come together to deliver an event. We are truly touched by your generosity, by your hospitality, and by your hard work. And another big round of applause to all of you and the team for the success. You know, this is quite an exciting event to all of us. It's the event that brings the movement together to try to stretch the imagination, to try to reflect and to see how we can learn from each other. It's the one event where we decide to come here not to have resolutions or not to worry about other things, but the one central question, that is how we can make this transformative experience that's called scouting even better and more equipped to deal with the world ahead of us. I think that's exactly what we did here. That's exactly what we debated. We looked at bigger trends. We looked at big issues impacting the world. And then we landed them, what do these issues mean to us? How we can react to them? We heard from speakers, and the French capital promised us, I always call it the capital of education as well, not only for the rich history of education in this country, but also where else you will be able to hear from the OECD, from the UNESCO, and from many other partners specialized in volunteering. And this time we truly brought the external, internal. We heard from the remarks and the insights about challenges facing non-formal education. What's the role of scouting? Last time at the World Non-Formal Education Forum, we opened up and we worked with many others. This time, I really was touched with how many of the external speakers, even they made the efforts to try to understand us and to say why what you do is important and how it is important. This event was special in many ways because it's also the second last big events in this vision in 2023. You know what's the next one, right? Egypt 2024, the World Scout Conference. And I think just having this station, this almost charging station, where we come together and reflect what are the things that we would like to carry with us as we go to Egypt and adopt a new vision and new strategy for Scouting, having this space to reflect on all these trends and how Scouting can be carried for the next decade. So I think it's a mandatory stop here in the road to Egypt. And there we will be adopting the new vision and strategy for Scouting. So this event, I hope you all were inspired. You were touched by the new ideas, the new possibilities. You learned from each other. You learned from the speakers. But I hope you all are carrying with you. I don't know what you will carry, maybe some cheese and other things you bought from here. But you will also be carrying some ideas and thoughts about how you will implement them back home. I really hope that you will not go back home thinking you are alone, because you are not alone. There are so many others who are trying to do exactly the same thing you are trying to do. So reach out to other National Scout organizations, reach out to Awesome, and ask for support and help. The key thing for me in this closing speech, and sometimes they say, everything has been said, but not by everyone. So I can always repeat things. But the one thing that I really want to emphasize tonight is my sincere thanks on behalf of World Scouting and the team of the World Scout Committee and the World Scout Bureau to everyone who has delivered and supported this event. So if we can get a little bit more lighting in the room, just a little bit more. And I'm going to ask everyone in the planning team, in the delivery team, in the logistics, in the program, and every aspect of this team, just to stand up. Let's see you. Would like to see all the delivery team, from the host, from World Scouting as well. Let's see you. Good. Yeah. Thank you so much. Merci. Thank you. And to the interpreters, they are there, stand up.
There's more people. Hello. I'm on.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. You truly delivered a fantastic event, an event that really brought us all together, and I know that we all missed this. In fact, this is exactly why we remember that why these in-person gatherings worth it. And as our French hosts always say, you can do things in person, but you can do them differently, more sustainably as well. I think that's a message we're taking home. Another thing I want to thank all the partners who have joined us. The many partners I see recognized here. Ashir, thank you so much. Our friends in WAGS, the CEO, thank you so much for being part of this story. We're all together in this. We're all trying to increase the recognition, the understanding of non-formal education. I think with the roadmap that we just generated, I think we are less lost, I hope, and more focused in the direction. We have a roadmap with key components and key directives that will help us tackle some of the pressing issues ahead of us. So I'm really excited about what the next few months and the next few years will bring to all of us. And as I said, nothing will make us happier in Waltham than if you reach out and tell us how we can be of service to you. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're here for you. You're not alone. We're together in this. And we have a fantastic opportunities ahead of us to reach to more young people. So on behalf of everyone here, one more time, thank you so much for all National Scout organizations who joined. Safe travel home, and see you in Egypt. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Ahmad. And France has been so proud having the Congress here. I think before we close the Congress, we have a few words.
Yeah, before we close our Congress, we would like to invite Guilherme that will share with us the final logistical announcements regarding your departures.
Time to listen this time.
Thanks, everybody. So, first of all, I've been asked on behalf of everybody here to thank two people that were here during all the sessions. Pierre and Flo, they have been a wonderful host.
Oh, thank you.
Merci Pierre et Flo.
Thank you. No. Thank you.
All right, and you know that when I'm talking, it's about food. So I will talk both in English and then in French because this is important. So first of all, it's not only food. Also for travel management, there are some tickets for the metro line and the train to go to the airport or the train stations. If you leave today, we can give you the tickets. If you don't leave today, then it's on your own. That's it. If you have taken glass bottles of water, can you give them back? Because otherwise we'll be charged, and this is really important for us. They are not gifts to take back. And then about food, because you want to hear about that, there is still some sandwiches. You can have them at the welcome desk. They are not sandwiches for everybody, but if you need them for travel back, then you can have them. Maintenant en français. Donc, pour le retour des participants, pour aller prendre l'avion ou le train, on a des tickets de train et de métro qui seront disponibles au Welcome Desk. Vous ne pouvez avoir un ticket que si vous partez aujourd'hui. Si vous partez demain, ce sera à votre propre charge. Si vous avez, par hasard, pris des bouteilles d'eau en verre, merci de les rendre parce qu'elles sont consignées. Et enfin, il reste quelques sandwichs. Si vous en avez besoin pour votre retour, pour dîner ce soir, vous pouvez aussi les prendre au Welcome Desk. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Have a good night. Bonne soirée.
Thank you. If anyone has any questions, you can always go to the welcome desk. They'll be able to help you out for anything else. But thank you, Guillem. It was very clear in both languages. Pierre, I think we're coming to an end. And I will read the final thing that I have here and then maybe be a little bit more spontaneous in my last 2 words. But as we conclude this remarkable gathering, let us reaffirm our commitment to and for young people around the world. The knowledge gained, the connections made, and the dreams ignited during these 3 days will shape the future of scouting and education. We would like to congratulate our host with a huge round of applause.
Also, to be said, we're very much on top and to what proposed Alma to thank the planning team, and we'd like the interpreters to get out of their boxes and to join us on stage, please.
If they can.
I'll translate it into French and in Spanish, not in Arabic.
They're coming. Yeah,
but
they're coming.
So important that we can ensure inclusivity to all. Merci, merci, thank you, obrigado, muchísimas gracias.
There you're in the big screen.
Grazie mille. Yes, such hard work, so important to us that we can really integrate and include everyone.
Maybe to do it the other way around, you can say thank you in your own language to them in the count of 3. Thank you.
There's someone I'd like to call on stage. Also is loud in the background, Ben or Drawer. Are you around? Ben, est-ce que tu es là? Benjamin. Oui, Benjamin. Come to me, Ben, one moment. Est-ce que tu viens vers moi? Benjamin,
oui.
Demain, qu'est-ce qui se passe? What happens tomorrow for you, Ben?
Pour moi,
yeah.
C'est mon anniversaire.
So, it's Ben's birthday. Tomorrow, I think probably, as we trying to sing a bit earlier on, what can we do? Oh, yeah?
I film that for my children.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Ben. Happy birthday to you. Well, my dear friends in Scouting, we are coming to the end, and we proudly hug you very strongly with all the content that we have, bringing back to our house, and we see you next time.
Yeah. It was amazing. Thank you.